The DeFi Professor.
Just trying something a little different. Shout out to Smitty, Smudge, and Keeks for the idea. They had an AVAX lore space earlier that was fantastic. I only was able to catch a little bit of it because I had a lot of work to do. But you ask AI to create some things for you, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes they misspell your name. It's always fun. Hey, it's Chris. I'm the DeFi Professor, and this is my workman stream. Little late today. Unfortunately, I'm having some technical issues. Also, almost got scammed again this morning, but I'm smarter than that. But shame to all of you scammers who try and reach out to me to get me to get on a video call with no actual want to actually learn about what we do, and you're just there to get me to click on a link and drain my wallets. Not happening to me, brothers and sisters. Not on my watch. I'm going to play this again just because it made me laugh.
The DeFi Professor.
I'm going to get a better one. Yeah. It looks like the introduction to Dancing with the Stars. DeFi with the Stars. Maybe we could do something like that sometime soon. Who knows? Anyway. Let me just make sure we are good to go across the airwaves. I believe that we are. Awesome. Cool. All right, so this is the Work With Me stream. What we do on this stream is pretty much just look at my research feeds, because I'm putting together a newsletter for our company. I'm a co-founder of Beacon DeFi. We educate and onboard people into decentralized finance. We've helped tens of thousands of people do so safely and securely over the last now 5 years. So in the event that you know someone who is crypto curious, who's DeFi curious, and is looking to figure out how to make their crypto or their digital assets work for them, reach out. Happy to talk to whomever, happy to share our knowledge. We do have a free group available. As I swipe away all my windows accidentally. School.com/beacon. If you want to check that out, it's our free group, Total Value Locked. We will have our video podcast tomorrow, which is on air with Beacon, and then our flagship podcast, our panelist podcast, which is Total Value Locked, on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow's at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to check out, and we're hoping to get some more guests on specifically to introduce new projects to you on air with Beacon. So if you are a project that's looking to be interviewed by myself and our team, feel free to reach out. Okay, so let's talk. And feel free to follow me on Twitter as well. Let's get to the news. Let me take away this banner. Okay, so let us refresh this because it's been a minute. We'll see what's available for news today. Okay, so let's talk about the market, because the market has rebounded a bit, right? In the last 48 hours, we're back up to 115. My goodness. Look at that, 7% up after that nasty manipulation. We're getting close to that November 1st deadline, though. So while we haven't had a ton of indicators showing that we are in a, that we're topping or anything like that, there's been a lot of concerns that we might be near the cycle top based on a lot of different technical analysis that's been out there. So we've been combating that in our groups by just talking about, being fairly defensive. So then the event that, something like what happened October 9th happens again. You're not caught over leveraged with, having your pants down or something like that. We'll see if BNB can re-rally to get back above 1300. That would be interesting if that's the case. But there have been no indicators that this bull run has stopped anytime soon or will be stopping. And on the 29th, on Wednesday, we're going to be getting an FOMC decision. So we'll see exactly what happens with that. Okay, so let's see. The S&P 500 assigns a B- rating to MicroStrategy, citing Bitcoin exposure and liquidity risk. All right, buddies. I mean, the outlook is stable, but what rating do you give a company whose only purpose is to buy as much Bitcoin as humanly possible, right? Oh, they do have prudently staggered debt maturities. I didn't realize that. Well, I mean, they have all kinds of convertible sales and stuff like that, so that shouldn't be shocking, right? All right, Mega ETH ICO sells out within minutes. That's not shocking. GG to everybody who actually got in. All right, so JPYC is real. Let's grab this one. This is good. This is from Bankless. JPYC Incorporated. Okay, so we've talked about this previously, about the group behind this. Okay. So this was the point of Jeremy Allaire going over to Japan to meet with a bunch of Japanese bankers and financial institutions to get this partnership going. So it looks like JPYC has 10 trillion yen to back JPYC, which will release over the next 3 years. Okay. Circle was an early investor in the company. Cool. Well, I mean, this is the first of multiple different currencies that are out there now, right? South Korea has their Korean won. That's on Avalanche. That was a partnership between Avalanche and a tier 1 bank that put out, I want to say 15 billion in Korean won. We did feature that on our Wednesday podcast. So, congrats to them. We'll see how that rolls. All right. Bonk battles back after breaking support. That's good to see. I think everybody seems to be going back up, which is good. Okay. Kraken Inc. TVL there surges 3,800%. I think this has something to do with Tidro. There it is. The surge is led by a single Tidro, a single protocol called Tidro, which is launched by Inc. itself. Tidro, if I'm not mistaken, is it a perp DEX or is it a VE NFT DEX? If you haven't been to Inc., it's not a bad layer 2. It's fast. It's fairly inexpensive. It's on the OP superchain. You can use Velodrome as the main VE33 DEX there. It is a native liquidity layer directly integrated into Kraken. Okay, so it's a forked version of Aave. Got it. So it's a lending AMM. What are you looking at rates? Low. 0.16%. Looks like the highest is USTT0 at 1.35% supply of UI. I mean, it's early, right? As we get more people in there, causing demand, that algorithm will cause that rate to spike a bit. But there is only 5 markets: ETH, USDT0, USDG. Kraken's BTC, that's KBTC, that's their liquid staked BTC. My assumption for this is you actually deposit BTC on Kraken and then they will allow you to withdraw it as KBTC on Inc., which you can then use in liquidity strategies. And then GHO, which is Aave's stablecoin. Good for them. We'll see how that rolls. I'll be honest, lending AMMs don't excite me nearly as much as they used to, unless it's called Euler or Morpho or even Dolomite. IBM launches digital asset haven to help banks and governments enter into crypto. Interesting. No shocker that the majors bought a lot of Bitcoin cheaply. But what's interesting, we've had major whales, and it's not here, I'm guessing. Major whales are setting up short positions on BTC and ETH. So it's kind of a weird signal, right? The market is surging, but then there's major shorts being put in. So is it smoke? We'll find out. Not a ton of news, by the way. So that, I mean, I unfortunately I've had some tech issues, but I didn't think I was going to be on for more than 45 minutes, honestly, because of just all of these issues. But CZ pardoned by President Trump, joining joining the club. Arthur Hayes, the diabolical tweet saying, "Welcome to the club of pardoned." Oh gosh. I mean, I guess the question is what happens now? Frankly, he's probably making more money not being the CEO and chairman of Binance. Because he's being used as a consulting fee for multiple government agencies, not government, but government, world government agencies. Like I think he's like the chief crypto officer of Pakistan or something like that. Don't quote me, obviously. But he's got his hands on a lot of different cookie jars right now. So I don't see any reason why he'd want to go back to Binance, frankly. Uh, his YZ Labs, YZI, they're already doing a ton of stuff. I mean, look at Giggle Academy. My God, that thing is just roaring. Nothing here. What is this? A Datco from David Beckham? Oh, Bex, what have you done? Prenetics for a Bitcoin treasury. All right, whatever. We're going to see more of this, right? I talked about this last week on Friday with all the crypto treasuries that are out there. We've had nearly 50 set up in the last 3 months. This is amongst them. Crypto treasuries, that app which we've looked at before, only lists about 35. So we're having a ton of companies invest into Bitcoin. And frankly, I don't see, just with all of the moves, how we can possibly be at a cycle top. I get it. The fundamentals are looking a little sketchy. It might be coin flip area. But it's hard to bet against the fact that most of these people are doing their due diligence, right? You're not going to go and raise 48 million to create a Bitcoin treasury if you didn't think it was going to be heading down to 80K. There's enough interesting people in crypto to help prevent that. Let's just put it that way. Or at least signal that it's okay. The water's just fine, guys. Come on in. Right? Right? Anyway. Mountain Gox delays credit repayments again to 2026. Kobayashi-san, what's going on here? All right. Javier Malay's pro-crypto party La Libertad Avanza has scored a surprise victory in the country's midterm elections. Oh, for the Congress. Argentina is such an interestingly shaped country, is it not? It's fascinating. Looks like they have 40%, which is enough for, yeah. Wow. Well, results trump things, eh? Let's see what we got here. Polymarket airdrop confirmed. Wormhole launches rewards program. Are they listening to what I said last week? Hmm. Portal Earn. The hell happened to Wormhole, man? Appreciate the airdrop. You guys have done nothing. Nothing in the 2 years. Oh, Binance suddenly lists Giggle Fund. Shock. Oh man. Well, so if you guys follow my stuff, I actually did a stream on Saturday talking about X402, just trying to break it down as cleanly as I could. Feel free to check that out on Twitter if you like. It was a bit of a interesting journey. Ultimately, because frankly, I don't know exactly what the hype is around X402 outside of Ping, right? Ping has no utility. It was a meme coin, kind of like a, hey guys, we're here type deal. And people decided to spec and go on it, right? And it's a runner. Outside of that, I can't really see a real reason that X402 could become a launch pad for meme coins. Don't get me wrong. If they can figure out a way to do it, that's cool. But outside of that, it's just it's agentic payment rails with the option to put it into more of a deep e-commerce fabric. What I like about X402, it's simple. To me, X402 is very much like Stripe. Stripe disrupted Web 2 and e-commerce back whenever they first came out because they allowed you to, as a website, have full e-commerce payment resolution and settlement available to anyone with a website with 7 lines of code. That was the beauty of Stripe. Yes, you paid for it, but it's not nearly as much as you would pay if you were using merchant fees from other companies, right? Whether it be a POS system like Aloha or Toast or even Square or Visa or MasterCard directly or through one of their partners, right? So Stripe really caused that disruption. And I feel like X402 is kind of in that same vein. Right now, it seems like it's just the MCP API rails for agents, for AI agents paying for their own gas to handle their own tasks and stuff like that. That part's cool. What I'm curious to see is what happens next with overall agentic flows, right? If I can use X402 to easily on-ramp funds into DeFi that doesn't require Coinbase, that's the move, because that's the problem we have right now. Most people I talk to, they're annoyed with the fact that when they put money into Coinbase and then they want to bring it into DeFi, into Base or whatever else, they have to wait 3 to 5 business days. And for some people, they'll mistakenly buy and then Coinbase stakes their ETH, for example. And then if you go to unstake your ETH, it's a 51-day unstaking process. Coinbase, that is bullshit. You know it. Let the people do what they want with their crypto, man. That's crazy. 51 days. I know this because I've seen it firsthand when I talk to new members and they're just like, it looks like my Coinbase ETH is staking. And I'm like, really? Oh no. So what happens if you try to unstake? It's 51 days later. I'm like, 51 days? Oh my God. Anyway. There we go. Western Union to pilot stablecoin settlement system for global remittances. They clearly saw the writing on the wall here. Because if there is somebody who is going to get absolutely bent over and screwed by this with stablecoins, it's Western Union. But curious to see how this works out. Seems Western Union sees opportunity in stablecoins. I'm pretty sure Western Union saw the opportunity in stablecoins 3 years ago, sir, just to be honest. It's all a matter of how could they do it that was a regulator friendly way for US customers. I mean, you can send anything anywhere right now with no issues, right? All right, we'll grab that one. That's the goodie. Let's close this one. Australian crypto firms back draft laws. Keep it coming. For those in Australia, congrats on all the super fund stuff. Super fund, all the retirement stuff you guys have. I mean, frankly, you guys get a very, very nice payoff. What 9 to 12% is the guaranteed, or something like that, or is roughly around the rate for super fund. And there's now super fund asset firms specifically doing digital assets and crypto. So that should be nice. Hopefully so. More people buying ETH and crypto. Arthur Hayes, what are you doing, brother? Oh, man. You really should talk to Coin. That's doing you dirty, man. Look at that hair. He's a very handsome man. Oh my God, and he's got a miscolored thumb. What are we doing here, Cointelegraph? Oh man. I can see it now in Arthur Hayes' next blog post, taking Cointelegraph out to the woodshed for this terribly AI generated image of him and his miscolored thumb. Oh, my goodness. Well, this is interesting. This is yesterday. The negotiations alleviate the need for the 100% additional tariffs announced by US President Trump in October. Of course they did. It's gross, man. Gross. All right. So gold is kind of on its way back up. Obviously, there's some real issues with the discovery of the biggest gold find in history, and somewhere I think in Africa, that caused the scarcity and the price action of gold to plummet. Tükrem CEO, enormous interest in XRP, extraordinary success for firm's XRP ETF. Well, how so? You know, it's funny. I reached my monthly limit, but I've never actually created an account. Maybe that has something to do with it. If you're an XRP holder, are you buying stock that allows you to get exposure to XRP, or are you just buying XRP? I mean, it's great. There are people with various risk appetites. They don't want to buy crypto, but they'll buy stock where the caretakers, earn all the money off of your exposure. Okay. Yeah, the reason we talked about it specifically on Saturday is with Ping success. I mean, we saw, I want to say $400,000 in transactions last week on X402. So there's clearly, okay, so 500,000 payments in 1 week. Granted, let's be honest here. There's a lot of testing going on, right? This is not you and me and Uncle Joe using X402 to pay for things. This is a lot of testing, but we'll see. Right? Of course, Coinbase is number one with this. On October 22nd, we'll call it 128,000 transactions with all that volume. I mean, it's great, right? This is what we kind of want, to be able to have a very low friction method of paying for things in the blockchain, right? In a way, I also said that X402 is like Solana's Blinks, which are just simple blockchain links that lead to actions on the blockchain. Very, very simple premise. We'll see where it goes from here. Going to need a little bit more utility, I think, for this, just because people are looking for utility for X402 rather than memes. But we'll see. I mean, could you create something as interesting as just literally buying NFTs using X402? Yeah, I guess so. Is that what people want to do? Please tell me no. Yeah, again, like I said, not a ton coming through. Right. So Ledger, man. Here's the thing. $10 per transaction. That's nasty. Why would anyone want to do that? Just use safe. Granted, there's a charge there where you're just paying for gas, but $10 flat fee. Ledger, clearly you're making a ton of money. Do you really need that from a multi-sig application? Nano Gen 5's coming out, which is nice. It looks really good. I'll give them that. Overall, we still have the optics problem with Ledger, right? Because they've had the exploits. They had the coin cover issue that people were really upset about, where they're going to install all of that in a firmware update without letting you opt out of that, which would have been fine had you tested it with the community Ledger 3 years ago, but you didn't. And you said you would open source all your code. Hasn't happened yet, but we'll see, I guess. With that said, Ledger's still the market leader in hardware wallets by a large margin. Now, we recommend two things at Beacon for hardware wallets, and it's Trezor because it's open source, and the other is Ledger. Now, we could recommend something like a Lattice Grid Plus, a gratis Grid Plus Lattice, but those are a little bit more expensive. If you're willing to actually pay for the investment into that, that's fine. Some other people want to use Arcturus or Tangem or whatever else is out there. I'm using my Solana Seeker. The Seed Vault here just happens to be, this happens to be my hardware wallet. It's the prettiest hardware wallet I own. Now, with that said, if you're going to be using a hardware wallet for yield farming, what should you be using? We recommend Trezor over Ledger first, just for storage, because it's open source, right? Ledger is not open source, but if you're going to be using it for farming, right? So we have multiple things we talk about in our security concepts of, having a cold wallet that never touches DeFi, that type of thing. You can use whatever you want for that, as long as it never touches a DeFi chain. It supports EAL 5+, whatever the frameworks are, and it's something that you will at least have the best amount of seed phrase security on. Use that, whatever you want. For farming, if you want to use multiple ecosystems, the only answer right now, and probably I can't say ever will be, the only answer right now is Ledger, because Trezor is not supported on Solana. It's not supported on Bitcoin or BTC Fi. It's not supported in Cosmos. Wallets don't want to incorporate Trezor for some reason, but they will go through with Ledger. So why don't you just make it free for like the first 6 months? People want to try things, right? What if your multi-sig service just sucks? I mean, I guess there's that. I'll grab it. Kyrgyzstan launches stablecoin on BNB chain, confirms future CBDC rollout. Please don't do that, Kyrgyzstan. CZ, talk them out of the CBDC. Looks like, is it Eric Seelig? Is that his name? The next nominee to run the CFTC from after Caroline Pham. Yeah, like I said, not a ton. Michael Seelig is his name. He's very pro crypto, as every Trump nominee should be, right? Oh, Crypto.com applies for an OCC National Trust Bank charter. There we go. That's some interesting news. I'll be honest. And this is no disrespect to Crypto.com. Is the only reason people are interested in working with Crypto.com is because the name of the company is Crypto.com. They're doing a lot of legwork, right? But it's like people are like shocked that Crow is gaining ground in so many things, because frankly, a lot of their blockchain initiatives have been fairly flat. They've fallen flat. They haven't been great. As a CEX, Crypto.com is fine. I've been a long-time customer. I still use it. I don't like the fact that it's a mobile app only. Change that, and I think they gain a lot more overall trust. Not that there's anything wrong with mobile apps, of course, but there's a lot of people that prefer not to use their phones normally, right? There's that too. I'm meeting a lot more people that just use, like, for example, they're on Coinbase and they just use it on their phone. They won't use it on their laptop, which I find fascinating, to be quite honest. Maybe this is the effect of Apple's privacy, spot. I don't think most people care about that, but essentially, because it's the computer you always have with you in your pocket, it's the best one to use. Maybe that's what it is. Again, we don't advocate using mobile devices at all for DeFi. Too many threat vectors, but it's good in a pinch if you need it. And Crypto.com having the mobile app is fine, but if they had a desktop app, I think they get a lot more adoption. That's just me personally. Them filing for an OCC bank license, not shocking, because the biggest ones are going to, right? Just because they want the ability to feed into whatever the regulations are, specifically for having either a stable coin or access to stable coins. So you're going to see more of these coming around. Nothing shocking there. All right, grab that. Now, we've been talking about this for at least a year. The idea of them having the token drop, and we've talked about strategies in our group to try and take advantage of that. Ultimately, what will you do with the Poly token? That I'm not sure about. It'll probably be a governance token, right? Expect every airdrop hunter and crypto trader to rush in. Early users will likely be rewarded for volume, longevity, and organic activity. That's the part, that's the kicker. Organic activity. What does that mean, Polymarket? But I tell you what, They have been building and building and building. And congrats to Shane Copland and the team there at Polymarket. They are doing the thing, right? And Kalshi is now on the market as well, trying to hire as many people as possible to become Kalshi pilled or Polymarket pilled. Polymarket, if you want to send me a swag gift like you did to half the KOLs on Twitter, feel free. Reach out. Happy to open that up, and I might even wear it. I do wear a lot of hats and t-shirts on a lot of my content, because if you didn't know, guys, if you're a founder in Web3 or you're just a crypto enthusiast, go to events. You get all kinds of swag for free: t-shirts, socks, underwear, hats, gloves, fidget toys, tumblers. I have way too much swag that I try to give away, but people don't ever want. So, is there like an eBay for old crypto swag that people can give stuff away to? But yeah. Now, I would say from a safety standpoint, I would be very careful about wearing a lot of the swag out in public, just because you may be in a situation where, yeah, it's cool that you're wearing a CryptoPunks hoodie, but you might be targeted depending on where you are in the world, because they realize you have a CryptoPunks hoodie or a Bored Ape Yacht Club hoodie on. And I would just be careful. Polymarket's different though, huh? No, okay, it's not. But yeah, prediction market meta is here. Perpdex meta is here. Prediction Fi with AI and prediction markets and tokenization and bonding curves also here. It's going to be a very interesting next 6 months for that narrative altogether. Okay, what else do we have here? Rumble partners with Tether to add Bitcoin tip. With Tether. How about stable coins? Just USDT is fine. I mean, if you want to tip me in Bitcoin, I'm not going to say no. I find it hard to believe that people are willing to part with their Bitcoin so easily, to be quite honest. Because Lord knows they don't want to put it in a DeFi position. You crazy? All right. So now we have, the other part is the Hidden Road acquisitions final. There's good old Brad just sitting there doing his thing. So we'll see what this does for XRP, right? If you're an XRP maxi, knowing that all this is happening, I'm not even sharing my screen. God, sorry. Ripple Prime, Hidden Road, now final. Yay for them. 2025 is the year that crypto went mainstream. I mean, that's true, right? It was last year we were talking about the election. Polymarket announcing that a lot of their audience is very interested in crypto. Granted, you had to actually be in DeFi to vote on Polymarket for a long time, until around the election when they onboarded USDC. Oh, I'm not going to give Maxine Waters any energy today. I talked about this on Thursday in our mastermind about look out possibly for what Stable does. And then I just didn't talk about it again because this is just gross. I mean, they're welcome to do what they want to do. But when the CEO comes in and just plops nearly $1 billion into a vault of their own money from their own team wallets, does that spark joy in you? That's a red flag for me. I mean, hopefully they do good things. That's the no. That's you're not going to snow the snowman, Stable. Okay. Zelle now having stablecoin payments in. It's good. I unfortunately had a plumbing issue and I was hoping to pay with Zelle. And if they would have had stablecoins available, that would have been very nice. All right. Do everything else here? We're at the 3-day mark, which means I'll probably jump over to Google. Yeah, we'll jump over. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me today, obviously. If you would like, why am I doing that? Please feel free to follow. Get links to my streamer coin on retake on base, as well as to my Zora, which is just at the DeFi Professor, if you're curious. If you want to support, help me keep doing what I do, would love that. Not a ton of news today here on Google. That means we will move on to DeFi Llama shortly. The lessons of an indefensible pardon for a crypto billionaire. Bitcoin and frozen turkeys. Indiana cryptocurrency investigation stops massive poultry theft. They got a report that $700,000 of Bitcoin machines had been stolen from a Bitcoin mining company in Grant County, Indiana. $2,000 machines were recovered, but they also made another discovery, a plan to steal $75,000 in frozen turkeys. The hell does that mean? We're going to farm some Bitcoin and launder some turkeys, I guess. All right, man. Whatever you say. All right, so Japan's going to allow banks to invest in crypto, but not clients. Not shocked. Attorney generals urge SEC to clarify crypto rules. Nothing new there. All right, guys. Why this headline? Why this headline? He hasn't been the chairman and CEO since the Biden administration, right? Where they put him in prison and gave him a $1.5 billion fine. Now, you can make the argument that his fingers are just there, and that's fine. But frankly, I don't think he has anything to do with what's going on with the fact that World Liberty Financial happens to have their stablecoin on BNB chain, which is still weird to me, but whatever. I still don't understand what the point of pardoning CZ is. I still don't. What does a pardoned CZ have advantage to? He's already paid the $1.5 billion fine. That was, I mean, he practically just sent it over like you'd send over a Western Union remittance. He's already served time in prison. Suddenly someone not going to hire him because like, oh, you were in prison. I'm not hiring you, brother. Come on, man. All right. Llama feed. Probably nothing here either. Coinbase and Citi are partnering to extend digital asset payments. Is that could be a 402, the next 402 link. It's not here, but I saw Mark Jeffrey mention that Chainlink is expanding to BitTensor, to Finny, which is good. At least I hope it's Finny. If not, it's probably just a BitTensor EVM, which is sturdy sidechain. But we'll see. I need to look into that because that's interesting. Subscribed to Mega ETH token sale. Your social media activity will determine your allocation. Ay, ay, ay. I know a lot of people bidding for Mega. But oh, if the oversubscription. Oh, of course it's going to happen. It already said so right here. I mean, I woke up to a bunch of selfies today. Are we going to wake up to a bunch of Mega ETH bull posts? Oh, this is good. Keep this. Enso is now going to have cross-chain support for USD1 because they're looking to bring it to, I know, Solana at the very least. It's going to Aptos. I know that much. I mean, there's the tweet there. They have this deal with Chase already. So this is nothing new. It's just another partner. Samsung also has this partnership with Coinbase. So that's good to see. Apollo partners. Which Apollo? Oh, Apollo Global Management. Okay. That's good. We'll see. I mean, Coinbase's BD department is just nuts right now. They're making all these partnerships. Everybody's trying to get Brian Armstrong on the phone. This tells me that the market structure talks with him and Vlad from Robinhood are going well, right? Because we're seeing all of this movement here, you know, partnership with Chase, partnership with Samsung, with Citi. They're not going to do all this if there isn't going to be profitable legislation, we'll call it, on the back end. All right, so Fusaka is going live already? Oh, it's going live on Hoodie. So they're getting close. They're getting close. Rate cut optimism drives 921 million in weekly global ETP inflows. I mean, that sure. I honestly thought that the rate cut was priced in, but clearly, it might not be, right? James Wynn. He claimed $1,800 in referral rewards and opened a 40x short on Bitcoin. Liquidation price at 117.4. clearly he must be making good money on something else. Obviously, he must have other wallets. He's not, of course, he has other wallets he's not talking about. He probably has a whole team of wallets that's keeping him afloat. I think I saw someone somewhere say it's like a Fed plant. I'm like, I don't know. Are there Fed plants in DeFi? Probably. I'm not one. I'm just here helping educate and getting you guys to buy my creator coin. Clearly. All right. Anything here from today? We've already talked about a lot of this. I guess I'll grab this. I'll just grab it from somewhere else. Clearbank to join Circle Payments Network. EU partner to get MiCA compliant stablecoins in. Yeah, we've pretty much looked at everything. So with that said, yeah, we're going to call it a wrap. It's been roughly about 50 minutes, 51 minutes. And hopefully you guys found value in today's thing. Again, feel free to follow me on Twitter at C Soriano. Shout out to ex co-host, of course. And yeah, thanks for working with me. If you were working with me as well, thanks. Appreciate that. Always looking for ways, and streaming for me helps me stay accountable. That's why I did it on Saturday, because I could just sit there and just talk about looking at X42, but actually streaming about it really got me to look into it and kind of get my thoughts on what's going on with that. So definitely a lot of metas coming around. One thing that wasn't put in here with the news, Farcaster buying Clanker has caused the base markets to just jump up and do really well. So I think this means we possibly get more, meme runners, AI coins on base starting to do well. Hopefully this is the beginning of a greater rally moving forward for the rest of the week, but we'll find out. Tune into our programs on Beacon DeFi Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Friday, of course, for our weekly Beat the Banks training at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can find all of that on my Twitter as well. With that said, take care, everybody. Have a great day.